Naomi, my name is Austin, and I will be your social worker today. Is Naomi what you go by? I just know that from your paperwork.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so before we get started today, I just want to go over some things about confidentiality. So everything that we talk about here in session is just going to be held between me and you. So if a partner or an employer or something where anybody were to ask me about that, I wouldn't be able to talk to them about it. And there's just a few exceptions to that. Um, if you're one of those being if you are in danger for harming or killing, in danger of killing yourself or harming someone else, I would have a duty to warn that other person or just to protect your life, or if there is, if you disclose any abuse of a child or someone who is elderly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what brings you in today.
I've just been feeling with or dealing with a lot of feelings of sadness and not wanting to leave my home and just
Mm-hmm.
being pretty low.
Mm-hmm. And how long has that been going on for?
It's been going on for the last 6 months. It's been progressively getting worse. I'm engaging less with my friends and family and just wanting to be home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So not really hanging out with friends or family as much as you used to.
No.
So what did that look like before you started feeling depressed?
We would go out and to the movies and go shopping and just go out to eat and things, but they've
Mm-hmm.
all been inviting me out recently, but I've just been turning them down. I'm just not in a mood to be doing anything fun. I'm just losing
Mm-hmm.
interest in all the things that I used to love to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like you've been staying in a lot more, but before that it was you would go out and do a lot of different things, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And now like how would you describe your mood just like on average now?
On average, I'd probably say 4 out of 7 days of the week, I'm completely just low. My job has
Hmm.
been very stressful and I'm not liking it. And I feel like it's impacting my mood and wanting to be around people. And so I would say it's pretty often.
Hmm. Yeah, and have you had has this affected the way that you perform at work at all? Has like your boss or anybody like around you noticed that?
It has actually. My boss was getting on to me about not completing a task right that they asked. And
Hmm.
I usually do it right every single time. It's just my head's just not really been in the best place, and I do think it's affecting other areas of my life.
Yeah, and did they like did you receive like a write-up for that or anything, or it's just like something that he's just starting to notice?
He did not give me a write-up, but it was more of a verbal warning type of thing. So I sensed the um that he was being serious with me,
Yeah, yeah.
that he
So that
didn't
there's
like what I
some
was doing.
yeah, so there's a little bit of so it sounds like there's some social stuff that you've been experiencing and some work stuff. Um, if you were to describe your like how you're feeling with like 10 being the best you've ever felt and like one being like the worst you've ever felt, how would you describe where you're at like on an average day?
On an average day, I'm probably closer to a 7 or an 8. I'm
Hmm.
just not. Or no, I'm sorry, did you say 1 was worse and 10 was sorry, I'd be
Correct.
closer on the lower end of that scale.
Hmm.
A 2 or a 3 probably.
Two or three. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like gives me a pretty good picture of where you're at with that. I also want to ask some other questions just about different aspects of life, so we can get a like a broader picture of just everything you've got going on. Does that would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. And one thing that, I think we all kind of know from just like being in society at this point is that um, depression can come with a higher risk of suicide. So I just wanted to check in on that and see, like, have you had any thoughts of killing yourself in the recent past?
No, I have not. I have felt very low, but I would not want to harm myself or others.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Have you had any history of suicide or suicidal thoughts?
I have not.
Okay. Um, I'm wondering, have you ever heard anything that wasn't there or seen anything that wasn't there?
I have not. No.
Okay. Has anyone like in your family ever like told you that you may have like some strange beliefs or things that that you like believe that aren't actually in line with reality?
No.
Okay. Um, how do you feel like, depression usually goes with a lot of anxiety, how, or it can go with some anxiety. How have you been feeling, like anxious wise lately?
I do think that I have been experiencing a little bit of anxiety. I think it's part of the reason why I haven't been able to leave my home very
Mm-hmm.
often. Um, my work is very taxing and stressful, and when I get home for the day, I just want to be home and thinking about having to go out to the store or go hang out with friends, like it starts to fill me with anxiety and leads me to say no and just want to be home.
Mm-hmm. So when, how intense would you say that anxiety is? Like when someone asks you to go out and do something, or like you're going to go to work, where would you say your anxiety sits on a scale of like one being no anxiety and 10 being like the worst anxiety you've ever felt?
I'd say probably a 5 or 6.
Okay, so it gets pretty intense to the level that you like don't want to do the whatever thing is being offered.
Yes.
And how long? When did that start for you?
I'd say it's probably been the last 6 months just getting increasingly worse.
Mhm. Mhm. And you said it's mainly around, like, work and, like, social things, leaving the house, is that right?
Yes.
Are there any other things, like, in particular that bring out, your that anxiety?
I don't think so. I think it's mainly work and just
Mhm.
having to do the daily things that we have to do every day, going to the store to get groceries and taking your dog on a walk and those types of things. So it's just making me not want to do those things at all. Just my
Mhm.
feelings of sadness and anxiety that surround that.
No, you said the depression started about 6 months ago as well. Is that something I'm remembering right?
Yes.
Is there anything that, may have happened around 6 months ago that, kinda started, these things?
Well, I did start my current job about 6 months ago, and
Mm,
I
mhm,
do like my job a lot. But as I have been there, my boss is giving me more and more responsibilities and things to do. And I haven't been able to tell him that it's too much because I know he expects a lot out of me. So I think that a lot of my mind and focus has been at work, and I haven't been doing really any self-care per se. And so I
mhm.
think that's why it's gotten worse over the past 6 months and
Yeah,
leading into not engaging with my friends and such. So
mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, have you ever, like, in your past, ever had any, like, little rituals that you would have to do, like, any, like, closing the door 3 times or, like, counting certain numbers in order to, before you, like, leave the house or anything like that?
no, I don't.
Okay. Um, and do you have anything in your past that you would, consider traumatic?
Um, I lost my mother when I
Hmm.
was a teenager, and that was very hard for me because my mother and I were very close. And I think
Hmm.
that part of it is not having her really to talk to and share things with. I think it's making me internalize things more, and it's probably affecting my mood.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good insight. I definitely want to put a pin in that, and we'll for sure come back to that later on. But for the purposes of today, I just have a few more questions.
Sure.
Do you have do you take any medications regularly?
I do not.
Okay. All right, I think that is all the questions that I have for today. I will take all this information and maybe work it into a diagnosis that could kind of help guide our treatment um, for later sessions.
Okay.
Um, that's all I have for today, Naomi. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.